She stole my man and my money. I took back more than she ever expected. I should have known the moment Tasha walked into my life that she wasn't just another friendly coworker. She came with compliments too sweet, smiles too wide, and a presence that slid into every room like she already owned the place. At first, I thought she just wanted friendship, someone to eat lunch with, someone to gossip with, someone to laugh with over iced coffee. I didn't realize she wanted everything I had. And eventually, she took it. My man. My money. My peace. Before I tell you how I took everything back, with interest, you need to know how it all began. It was late summer, the kind of warm New York August that melts makeup and turns the subway into a sauna. I worked in a mid-size marketing firm as a creative lead, comfortable but not flashy. I lived with my boyfriend, Jordan, in a cozy Brooklyn apartment we decorated together, dark green velvet couch, thrifted framed vinyls, the works. We weren't married yet, but 3 years together made it feel like marriage without the paperwork. Enter Tasha. She was the new social media manager, bright-eyed, caramel-skinned, with the kind of beauty that made men stumble over their own tongues. She was charming, brilliant, and way too curious about my life from day one. She asked about Jordan, about my career, about my salary. At first, I brushed off the nosiness as friendliness. Women support women, right? Right, until they don't. The first shift came subtle. She'd say things like, "Girl, you trust your man too much. All men cheat, some just do it better." Or, "You work so hard, he better be contributing at least half." Or, "You sure you want to share all this about your finances? Men use that stuff against you." Little comments, always delivered with a smirk like she knew something I didn't. Turns out she did. It began with Jordan acting strange. He started staying late at work, even though his job at the auto shop rarely demanded it. He showered the second he got home, something he never used to do. His phone was always face down, always buzzing. And suddenly, he had opinions about how I spent money, how I should budget better, how we needed to rethink priorities. Funny how all that happened right after Tasha asked one day during lunch, "So, how much money do you make exactly?" I never answered her. She must have found another way. Still, I ignored the signs because love turns intelligent women into fools with blindfolds. I made excuses. I convinced myself it was stress, not cheating. Until one night, when everything unraveled. Jordan came home smelling like coconut lotion, and I don't use coconut lotion. I sat on the couch, staring at him, heart pounding. He avoided my eyes. He knew I knew, and I knew he knew I knew, but neither of us said a word. Instead, he asked, "Did you make dinner?" I laughed, the kind of laugh that cracks edges and raises ghosts. He walked away. That was the night I checked our joint savings account and nearly fainted. $7,000 gone, transferred to an account I didn't recognize. My breath hitched, my fingers shook, and right there in the transaction description was a name I knew too well. T. Hamilton. Tasha freaking Hamilton. The betrayal scorched hot, hotter than heartbreak, hotter than rage, hotter than humiliation. I went to Jordan's phone when he fell asleep. I knew the passcode. He never changed it. His stupidity was almost insulting. The messages were all there. Her, "Can't wait till she's out of the picture. You deserve better." Him, "She'll be fine. She's strong. She'll move on." Her, "Did you get the money?" Him, "Yeah, she won't notice." Her, "Good boy." Good boy. My man, well, formerly mine, being reduced to a damn Labrador by the woman I'd brought into my circle. My heart broke, but underneath the break was steel, forming fast, hardening by the second. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I didn't confront. No, I planned. Because revenge, real revenge, is best served like a 5-course meal, slow, satisfying, and unforgettable. The next morning, I went to work like everything was normal. I smiled at Tasha when she came in wearing a dress too tight and a wig too expensive for her paycheck. Her nails were freshly done too, long, glossy acrylics that probably cost more than her rent. Funny, she could suddenly afford luxury. She thought she'd won because she'd taken my money, my man, and my calm. I let her believe that. Step 1 was simple: gather ammunition. I became her best friend, her closest confidant. I listened to her brag about Jordan, about how he was better in bed anyway, about how she convinced him that I was holding him back, about how she was using him for entertainment until something more stable, meaning richer, came along. But most importantly, she bragged about the money. She told me, proud as hell, that she convinced Jordan that I'd get over it, and that they needed the money to start something together. I kept every message, every voice note, every document, screenshots galore. Step 2 took finesse. I went to HR with a friendly alert, pretending concern. I claimed Tasha might be involved in employee harassment, fraud, and professional misconduct. HR is always hungry for drama. They practically salivated. Then I quietly sent anonymous evidence, messages revealing that she'd been stealing company data and passing it to a competitor. I may or may not have fabricated a few extra pieces based on things she could have done. HR launched an investigation before lunchtime. Step 3 was personal. I set Jordan up, not illegally, emotionally. I confronted him gently, pretending to be heartbroken but forgiving. I told him I wanted to fix things, told him I loved him, told him I was willing to move forward. I watched guilt eat him alive. Then I asked him to come with me to the bank to reorganize our finances. He agreed. While we were there, I told the banker that Jordan was not authorized to access my personal funds anymore, and that our joint account needed to be closed due to fraud concerns. The banker looked at Jordan, who had the facial expression of a man whose brain had just disconnected, but I had evidence. Screenshots, transfers, everything. Jordan didn't fight back. He just stood there, defeated, like a toddler caught stealing candy. When we got home, I ended things with him clean and cold. No tears, no yelling, just a simple, "You betrayed me, you used me, and now you get nothing." He cried. I didn't. Step 4 was destruction. Tasha got fired, brutally, marched out of the building with security escorting her as everyone watched. Turns out HR found even more dirt once they dug. Step 5 was the masterpiece. Because I wasn't done. I took every screenshot, every message, every transfer receipt, every stupid voice note she sent bragging about how she manipulated Jordan, and I sent it all to her landlord, the IRS, her pastor's wife, and her mother. And finally, the cherry on top, I sent it to the man she'd been secretly talking to on the side, the one she actually wanted, the wealthy lawyer she thought she'd upgrade to after using Jordan. He blocked her instantly. Her mother cursed her out. Her church suspended her. Her landlord raised her rent due to new information about her financial activity. But the real twist, I wasn't aiming for just ruin. I was aiming for redemption. For myself. So I used my heartbreak as fuel. I launched a small online consulting side business, something I'd always wanted to do but never had the courage to start. I grew. I healed. I flourished. I rebuilt myself with more love, more success, and more money than I'd ever had. And about a year later, I saw Tasha by coincidence at a grocery store in Queens. She looked nothing like the cocky, glowing woman who'd strutted into my life. Her wig was crooked. Her clothes were mismatched. She looked exhausted, defeated, older. She saw me, froze, swallowed hard. I smiled politely and walked right past her, glowing, confident, thriving, without a word. Because that's the thing about revenge. It's not just about taking back what was stolen. It's about rising so high that the people who hurt you can't even breathe the air you breathe anymore. She stole my man and my money. But I took back more than she ever expected. I took back my power, my dignity, and my life. And I'd do it again.